Hey gorgeous, it's Denise here, and I want to invite you to my brand new free workshop series. It's about leveraging your strengths so you can make more money with ease. There are 8 different money archetypes and you will be one of them. Which one are you? Are you a ruler, a romantic, a connector, an alchemist? Ooh, so interesting. All you have to do is go to denisedt.com/quiz, take the quiz. You can get your free 3-part workshop on how to find out your strengths, find out your challenges, and work out what you can do about them. Plus, you'll be introduced to some amazing entrepreneurs who share your archetype so you can get inspired to take your business to the next level. Take the quiz at denisedt.com/quiz, and I can't wait to hear your archetype.
Start your business for the freedom of time. Now you're tired of the hustle and grind. There's gotta be a better way. It's time to listen to Chill and Prosper. Welcome to Chill and Prosper. You're ready to chill and prosper with Denise Duffield-Thomas.
Hey, it's Denise here, and welcome to another episode of Chill and Prosper. I just want to say a really quick thank you to everybody who sends me messages and shares episodes of Chill and Prosper. We really have this big goal to get to 1 million downloads, and we just passed the 500,000 mark a couple of months ago, and oh my gosh, we would just love to get to that. So every time you share, every time you rate and review and subscribe and all of those things, it really helps us. So just a big thank you for all of your support. Today, we are talking about one of the coolest things I've discovered in the last couple of years, and that is building my business to suit my personality. And I've kind of been obsessed with this topic, really, for a long time, even in my early 20s and in my 30s when I was trying to figure out what my business was going to be about. I did so many personality tests. I read so many books about who you are and finding your purpose and all of that kind of thing. And the last 10 years, I would say, is when I really got obsessed with doing it and finding the right framework. And, you know, for some reason, I can never remember my Myers-Briggs profile, ever. It doesn't matter how many times I've done it. I cannot remember. I love doing the Kolbe personality test. And the only score I remember for that is that I'm a 9 quick start, which is very ADHD, I think, for me too. But there is one personality test that I think has made the absolute difference for me in so many ways. And I'm talking, of course, about the Sacred Money Archetypes system. And so this is a profiling system about your money personality. This was developed by the amazing Kendall Summerhawk, and I certified in this quite a long time ago, but I wanted to share this with you, whether you've done the quiz or not, which you can totally do on my site, because it really showcases the value of looking at every single part of your business and giving yourself permission to have it work for you first. And that might be a weird concept for you because we hear things like the customer is always right and we have to, design our business for our ideal customer. But I want you to think of it the other way around, because it is not selfish for you to create your business in a way that feels in alignment for you. I was going to say easy. And yes, it's totally okay to make it feel easy, but alignment is probably the better word because ease is so different for all of us. And, whatever business you do, you still have to put effort and work into it, but we can totally make things easier for ourselves. So I think you'll get a lot out of today's episode, even if you haven't done the quiz. But if you haven't, go to denisedt.com/quiz and you can find out what your money personality is, get some specific advice, and then today's kind of like the bit of the cheat sheet, but also a few little extra nuggets that I have realized recently about the archetypes. So I really think this is finding your unique path to wealth, because sometimes we look at the entrepreneurial world and we think there's just one personality that is going to succeed, and it's the hustle type A type personality. And if you are someone who has a more quieter personality, if your values differ from what you see as the norm, you are going to feel left out. You are going to feel like you don't belong, you're going to feel wrong, and you're going to try and change things about yourself. And you really don't have to. You just have to leverage what makes you unique, leverage your strengths. And then things flow so much easier. I promise. So the founder of Sacred Money Archetypes, Kendall Summerhawk, she says, the way we do money is the way we do everything. And I really see this so clearly in my life and, the people that I coach in Money Bootcamp, the people that I see on retreats, is that it does come up again and again. If you've got some particular challenges of your archetype, it will come up in so many different areas. The way you price, the way you have conversations with clients, the way you launch, everything. And I'll tell you my archetypes at the end and how they impact my business in a good and bad way. Oh my God. Okay, so the different archetypes, I'll go in alphabetical order. It is the accumulator, the alchemist, the celebrity, the connector, the maverick, the nurturer, the romantic, and the ruler. And you do not need to remember all of these. I've actually put a cheat sheet together for you. And you can get that at the page for today's podcast episode. But also, as I said, you can do the quiz and find out. So as we go through them, I want you to think about who in your life this is, because it might not be you. And that is a huge clue as well about creating harmony in your life and business is about understanding other people. And you might see some clashes that come up with your clients, with your mentors, with your peers, but mostly with the people in your life. So it could be your partner, your siblings, your children, your parents. Okay. So think about, as I say it, like go, oh, that's totally, my Uncle Fred. Okay, so the first one is the accumulator. So we call this one the banker, okay? And these are the people who are really good at saving and investing and accumulating money. This can go in a couple of different ways. Accumulating money for some of them could be amazing at savings, like huge, big savings accounts. But it also could be people who are extremely frugal. Okay, that's the opposite end of it. People who are will not spend a penny, think about every decision they make and get into analysis paralysis. If they're in their healthy expression, and if that's you, accumulator, that is where you are just really good at making decisions. You look at people in the entrepreneurial world and go, oh my God, they're just doing everything so half-assed and off the cuff. And I like to make things in a considered way, and I like to make decisions in methodical ways. It could mean though that sometimes you get so stuck in that planning phase you never actually launch anything. Okay, so that's the accumulator. Think about who that is in your life. And I love when people DM me about the quiz stuff, so please send me messages about this. The next one is the alchemist. So the alchemists are the idea generator, idealist people. These are the people who can transform anything into something better. Okay, and this is the alchemy of it. They can change anything into gold. And so for them, it could be thinking about ideas all the time, seeing how they can improve things, seeing the possibilities in everybody. They can be very cheerleadery to the people in their life because they just see all of the possibilities. Now, the downside to sometimes being an idealist is that you live your life in the clouds and you don't come down and touch grass is something I'm hearing a lot. Go ahead and touch grass. But it could be just that everything is so kind of in the ether, in the clouds, that nothing actually gets done because nothing gets brought into reality. And it can be very frustrating being an alchemist because you're so full of ideas and you're looking, which is my destiny, which is my purpose, but your destiny is actually being an ideas person. That's it, is to generate ideas, not necessarily to follow them all through. And that can be a really tricky balance, okay? So, and if you have alchemist friends, they're usually the ones who are, always seeing the possibilities and always seeing the ideas. They're the person you call when you need to brainstorm things and you need to solve problems that are out of the box and interesting. Next is the celebrity. So the celebrity is all about that, like being in the spotlight, being a star, being fabulous, being shiny and sparkly. For celebrities, glitter is a neutral. Sequins are a neutral. a neutral. So it's all about being as fabulous as you can be. And for a lot of celebrities, that means brands, brand names, and luxury goods, and just knowing what is in fashion, literally. Okay, so you might be a celebrity who has dialed down some of that. You might be a celebrity who's being shamed out of being in the spotlight, being called a diva, or hearing things like nobody likes a show off. So sometimes people listen to this and they go, I'm not a celebrity, but they actually are. They've just learned to dim it down. And for the big challenge for celebrities is that they have no problem spending money, but they don't always have the business or the income to support that. So it can be very stressful when on one side you've got, this beautiful, shiny, fabulous life, but things are kind of falling apart behind the scenes. And, you're living this champagne life on a tap water budget. Not that you'd drink tap water, of course. So think about people in your life who are like that, and you might have a mentor who is a celebrity archetype. Now, the next one is the connector. Connector is all about building relationships, putting people first. Now, connectors can be introverted or extroverted. Introverted ones are more about scanning the room, seeing who needs help, looking for the wallflowers who might need a kind word. The extroverted connectors might be the life and soul of the party, the person who organizes the conferences and the events and the meetups before the meetups. So connectors often say things like, I don't care about the money, I just want to help people. And that can be tricky for connectors because it means that you often sabotage your business because you don't charge people. Everyone's your friend, so you can't charge your friends. Even strangers become your friends very quickly. And there can be a real blurred lines between clients and friends. And that can cause some boundary issues, that can cause some stress. And often connectors are just not paid enough for the value that they bring out in the world. They want to spend so much time helping others and solving problems for others, but they don't always get paid for that in return. All right, next is the maverick. The maverick is the inner rebel. Mavericks march to the beat of a different drum, their own drum. They want to remake things, refashion things, revolutionize, revolt, sometimes burn things down that don't work. So mavericks will always be the ones who are big, bold thinkers. Even if it's suppressed, you really just want to break free and have freedom be the highest reason for your business. Mavericks are the ones who don't really think before they leap, which can make them amazing entrepreneurs because they just take action without thinking it through. And sometimes, though, there can be fallout from that, right? It's like, oh, I sold all this stuff and now I can't deliver it. Okay, I guess I'll just work harder. Or sometimes mavericks get bored and they pull apart their business and rip things and burn things down, even though they could just make a few tweaks. So you've got to kind of keep that boredom in check if you're a maverick. And, I've been around the business world for a long time, so I've seen a lot of people come and go, and it's often the mavericks who totally just burn stuff down and they sabotage their business because they get bored. Next is the nurturer. So the nurturer is the one who always has that commitment and need to care for the individual. And they are always looking for how they can give, over deliver and give and solve everyone's problems, no matter what it is. Now, nurturers can be really good at money, at taking care of it and saving it, but often they burn through their savings account or they burn through their reserves energetically and financially because they attract codependent people, or they want to solve everyone else's problems with money. They want to save people and rescue them. And what's interesting too is that, nurturers collect strays. It could be stray cats or it could be stray clients who need their help. And that can feel really good. All of us have got that nurturer inside us where it feels good for people to be reliant on us and to want and need us, but it doesn't always serve our businesses. And that can be really hard for the nurturer because often you just care so much, but you don't always get that back in return. And that can lead to a lot of burnout. Now, the romantic is the inner hedonist. The romantic is all about pleasure seeking. It could be luxury, it could be travel, it could be ease, it could be comfort. So for some, nurturers, they do love their luxury brands. They're kind of the sister archetype or the cousin archetype to the celebrities, but it manifests sometimes in a different way. For some people, it is texture, wanting that coziness, or it's wanting that downtime, having those long bubble baths and just not feeling like doing anything. And that is the downfall sometimes of the romantic, is that they just can't be bothered. And so they only want to do business when they feel like it. But there are so many things you can do. The romantics can absolutely embrace automation and ease and make everything so much easier for themselves, without guilt and without shame. And then finally is the ruler. The ruler is the empire builder, the archetype who loves business, loves learning about marketing, can monetize everything. And they really just want those big win-win empires where everybody can thrive and everybody gets what they need. And rulers can be a little bit bossy. If you've had a ruler mentor in your life, they're the kind of ones who just tell you what to do. They go, I don't really care about listening to what your feelings are. Just do what I tell you to do. And if you are a ruler, then you know that you have that inner voice going, no time off, just work. And that can obviously lead to a lot of burnout. Okay, so they are the 8 archetypes. And you know what? We all have all of those archetypes inside us in some way. But there will be ones that are top of mind for you. And they're the sabotages that really come up for you again and again. So I'm going to take a really quick break. And when I come back, I'm going to tell you about my archetypes and how I use them in my business, but also how my sabotages come up and play as well. All right, I'll see you in a sec.
My name is Sandra. I'm from Germany. I'm a ruler, but I'm also a maverick and romantic. But then when I read the ruler one, it was so clear. That's totally me. It's I'm always thinking, okay, I could make this as a business maybe, or this as a business maybe. And if other people tell me like their ideas, I say, okay, so we're gonna do this, and you can make a business out of this. So it's like all the time I'm thinking a lot of how to make money out of everything.
Hey, and welcome back. So that was the 8 archetypes that we talked about in the first half of this episode. And I just want to share with you what my archetypes are, because it really showcases how you can't escape who you are. You really can't. And it also means that if you've been always thinking, oh, I'll just do my business like Denise, remember, I am always of the mindset is that you have to figure out what works for you. And you can't copy someone else's business model. You can't even really do business like someone else unless you have the same archetypes as they do. So if you were to guess, what would you think my archetypes were? Some people think, that whole thing about me being a chillpreneur means that I am always chill and easy. And the truth is that I have to work at that, ironically, because my top archetype is ruler. So I am all about business and money, and not even money for its own sake, but I just love growth and what's next. And for me, my ruler is a hard taskmaster. I find it really hard to switch off. I feel guilty if I'm not doing work, and I often don't celebrate between projects and launches. And we have some incredibly successful launches, and I've achieved a lot of things over the last couple of years, but I'm not good at stopping and celebrating, because that ruler side of me is always what's next? Do it bigger, faster, stronger, harder next time, and not rest. Even when I'm having a massage or something like that, it just gives me new ideas for my business, and I have to really watch that because it can be really tricky. I do have another episode where I talk to my husband Mark about his archetypes too, so make sure you listen out for that one, because we talk about how the fact that we both have ruler as our top archetype, but it shows up for us in slightly different ways. Okay, so the next archetype for me is my maverick. Okay, so when we look at designing your business and your life, we want to look at the top 3, because this is where it gives you flavor and seasoning to your combination. And maverick for me isn't about necessarily rebelling, which it can for some people. For me, it's all about freedom. I always want to have complete freedom in everything that I do. The only time it does come up in my rebelliousness is when Mark, my husband Mark, who is our launch manager, when he tries to use his ruler to tell me what to do, my ruler maverick combination is just like, don't tell me what to do, F you. So that's where it comes up for me, not so much in burning things down. But I do have to direct my maverick into not going off in tangents. And the way I do that is the affirmation that I have for myself is all roads lead to boot camp. I can create anything I want as long as all roads lead to boot camp. And my maverick then can go off on all these wild, wacky marketing tangents, but without doing the thing that I see people do is that they burn their business, they break their business because they get bored. They start a new thing and nothing gets traction because they get bored and nothing gets traction. So that's how I can kind of control my maverick, but yet giving the illusion of unlimited creativity and space. Now, so Mark also shares ruler and maverick, okay? But it's our third ones that completely change the game. My third archetype is romantic. And this is where the chill part comes in, right? And so you can see even my podcast, Chill and Prosper, it's ruler, romantic. That's the name, Chill and Prosper, ruler, romantic. Other way around, of course. So my romantic really struggles a little bit against that ruler because the ruler's like, no time off ever. And my romantic's like, wouldn't it be nice if we could just sit at home and read books all day? And the ruler's like, no, only work. And you go, oh man. So where my ruler flavor comes in is I find the ease in everything. I find the shortcuts. My romantic's like, hey, why don't we just buy a template for that? Why don't we buy a checklist and then we don't have to start from scratch? And the ruler's like, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. And the maverick's like, yeah, that's breaking the rules, and finding those shortcuts. So it's that third one for me really changes the game. And that's where, my book comes in of Chill and Prosper. Being a chillpreneur is about finding that ease and ease and ease. So I want to hear from you and I want to hear what your archetypes are. You can find out by taking that free quiz, which is on my website at denisedt.com/quiz. It's about, it's quite a few questions. So the romantics are like, it's so much hard work. But also there is a cheat sheet version as well. So if you go to denisedt.com/cheat, you can get the summary of all of them and then you can kind of go, yeah, that kind of sounds like me. And then you can just get the workshop for that archetype and you can kind of skip the quiz altogether. Romantics, I'm talking about you. And then I want you to send me a message, send me a DM or send me a tweet or whatever, because it's so fascinating when you see those archetypes play out in your business. It will really help you to start to make different decisions. Okay, so I have another episode coming up next week because we're all in this archetype life at the moment. We're in an archetype season. We've got an archetype launch coming up. And I want to talk about how you can use the different parts of your personality into your business. And I'm talking about things like your business model, your marketing, your sales processes, your boundaries, your pricing. So much is determined by your personality, whether it's your archetypes or it's Colby or it's Myers-Briggs, or even I use my star sign often in my business as well to justify things or to make different decisions. Okay, so go to the quiz, denisedt.com/quiz. Send me a note, tell me how it's showing up for you, and I'll see you on next week's episode all about how you can start to design your business.
Hearing that, wait a minute, I'm a little weird and that's okay. And it was also I think the most important aha of that was that it just validated everything that I knew about myself to be true and that it was okay.
It just made me feel so safe. It's safe to be who I am, period. And it just explained so many things in my life and in my business.
So finding out that I was a celebrity, I had a 30-second shock. And then I just kind of fell into my own body. I'm like, oh, everything makes sense now.
It was this breath of fresh air. Somebody finally got me.
It just kind of hit home so like so hard. I was like, oh yeah, that's what I am and that's what I'm all about.
I think the reaction was just like, oh, this is why everything is so hard, because I am living so out of alignment with who I am on an energetic level. So it was eye-opening, it was heart-opening, and it was transformational. My life is so different now. My business is designed completely different, and it was a result of it.
It was such a relief to know that I wasn't broken.
It was like my whole entire life made sense. Stories my mom told about me as a kid made sense.
Hey there, friend. This is a bit of a personal question, but what's your money personality? Because did you know that your relationship with money, your beliefs, habits, sabotages, etc. is shaped by your money personality? You could be a ruler, a celebrity, a nurturer, maybe even an accumulator. There's actually 8 different unique money personalities, each with their own strengths and weaknesses when it comes to making money. And once you know your money archetype, you can profit from your strengths and find the best path to wealth for your personality type. Click below, take my free quiz, and discover your money archetype today. And I've got an amazing brand new workshop for you called Leverage Your Strengths and Make More Money. And you'll get that training workshop specific to your money personality. So take the quiz today. It will only take a few minutes and it's totally worth it. If we haven't met before, I'm Denise Duffield-Thomas, money mindset coach and best-selling author. By working to my strengths, I have completely transformed my business and income. My courses, books, and events have generated millions of dollars of revenue and helped thousands of people worldwide just by designing my business to my personality. So I know you're gonna love it. I know you're gonna get just as obsessed with the money archetypes as I am. All you have to do is complete the quiz and then watch the workshop, and you'll get practical, real-life strategies that you can use in your business to create more abundance and flow. So click below, find out and discover your money strengths. I'll see you there.